Oh, look at this.
No, I'm in a town, nigga. I'm hot.
Look like you got some editing to do, boss. My bitch good. Oh.
I ain't gonna lie, I need my drink empty as a bitch.
I'm gonna continue this like tomorrow.
No.
No, tomorrow's not a problem.
We talking about some good shit. We just
I only got one joint.
Me and Mike, the only black people.
Okay.
It's just full of niggas.
What?
Mike.
Yo, you spilling everywhere, bro. Chill out. What's going on with you? Like, watch out.
Lava.
Hey, my bitch go, ooh, oh. Hey, boom, boom. Okay, baby, okay. Hey, do. Like, y'all feel like this is good content, right?
No,
Look, listen, that's what I'm saying. That's all they're saying.
It was good content until.
I don't think it's fully developed.
Niggas needed a bathroom break.
No, we don't fucking need a bathroom break.
No one really asked you.
We all in now? We all in? Yeah, I know Mike is in. I just had to ask you 3 niggas. Alright.
Yeah, I'm outside.
I think it's the time for men to speak about some of the things that we go through mentally, emotionally, you know, as well, especially for the young kids. You know what I mean? The young kids. That's because growing up, my dad, I never knew what he was going through. You know what I'm saying? He never was like, yo, I'm going through this, or this is how you're supposed to be as a man. He never taught me that. So, you know, you got guys who don't have fathers in the crib. And then you got guys who have fathers in the crib, but they're still absent emotionally. You know what I'm saying? So it's like both this negative side on both sides. You get what I'm saying? So you got to learn how to be a man outside of your home.
A lot of people don't grow up with their dad. So if you do grow up with your dad, luckily it's like, all right, like, you know, I have a father figure in my life. You know what I'm saying? That's not to say they're the best figure. Not to say mine was the worst figure, but just to say that in general, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you never know what you're gonna end up with. You know, at the end of the day. But you know, like this nigga stole like $16,500 from my mom, trying to tell me to like lie to her and be like, yeah, I don't know what happened to that shit. Bro, like it was hella people at the house when I gave you the money, or I gave her the money. So, you know, you was just out here wilding. You know what I'm saying? But
has he always been like that though?
He probably has, but I didn't realize that until I was of age. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was of an age to realize what was going on in their relationship and in our life. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could have a whole nother family. I'm not saying that he does. I'm not saying that he does at all. Yeah. But he could. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? Because I was thinking about that growing up as a kid. Like,
I feel like I'm the kind of a lucky one. My dad is kind of known as like everybody's uncle or pops. Like, my dad's been in my life, took me to all my games, like taught me right from wrong, taught me lessons. Like he did his job, and it's shown. He's taught me very, very important lessons in life. Taught me how to not give up, always keep pushing. He never let me quit anything. Yeah. So I feel like I'm kind of like of the opposite spectrum. And that's why I love to have people around me to experience that, because I got to grow up in a kind of perfect lifestyle, silver spoon lifestyle. I mean, I worked for everything I had, but at the same time, I mean, I was good. Never had to worry about anything. Didn't have any worries that when I went off to college or high school, I seen other people worry about. I never seen that.
For me, I didn't have a friendship like y'all describing, right? Like I didn't realize that was a thing or made it happen until my graduation from college. It was the first time me and my dad, like, we walked around, talked about, you know what I'm saying, talked hella shit to each other, you know what I'm saying, like.
No experience.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, I've seen, like, you know what I'm saying, like, in and out throughout the years, whatever. But at that graduation, like, I had accomplished so much going through school, you know what I'm saying, and then he was there, and, like, all I could do was just, like, try to see the positive in everything, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, this is dope. Like, I'm glad you're here. Like, I'm happy you're here. And then, like, we and him went on, like, a long-ass walk for, like, 2-3 hours. Yeah. Talked about everything. And it was like, oh, like, this is my friend. You know what I'm saying? But, like, that started when I was 22. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And even to this day, like, I have his number. He got my number. But it's, like, it's not something that we really, like, I think we might have missed the window for him to be my dad. And now he's more so like a really good friend of mine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope I love, you know what I'm saying? I love him, want the best for him, all that. Like, my sisters, I actually talk to my sisters more than I talk to him, whatever.
Yeah.
Even like his wife, I talk to his wife more than him. And like, to me, that's okay. I think it works. You know what I'm saying? Because growing up, me and my mom, like, we never like made the issue about him. It was never about him. So I have no animosity towards him. I'm not upset that the way my shit played out was the way it played out because I'm doing great. You know what I'm saying? My shit's lit.
So he wasn't in the house? Nah.
Him and my mom were never like together like that.
And with the degree that your fathers were in your lives, how pressure did you feel to grow up to be somebody? Like how I had a father, I still feel pressure to grow up and be that man, to be a provider for my family one day, to be like a husband to somebody and to support my wife and children. Like my father has supported myself and my sister as well.
I didn't come from money. And, you know, my parents, they moved all of us from Ghana to Massachusetts. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen them grind from living in the projects to buying a crib in the suburbs, you know? So to what Brody's saying, which I think it was a great question, like, that's my motivation. You know what I mean? Like, my motivation and what makes me want to have, like, a great family is because I don't want me, myself, and my kids to go through the struggle that my parents went through. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's almost like that the Kevin Hart documentary where he was like, he worked so hard because he never want to go back broke.
Yeah,
like,
you don't gotta be like that. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So that I think that fear. So like Brody, like, you know, coming from the family that you come from and seeing that and you replicating that. So somebody else who come from a family that might not be as fortunate as yours, it's fear. That's what makes them want more. It's fear because they don't want to ever go back to that.
So
you know,
once
again, an opportunity.
So what do you think mine is?
Yours is because
you're driven to be different.
I think
you want to be different, right? He wants to not.
You might want to be better than your dad,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And
he's motivated to
Of course, I want to be better. Like nobody wants to ever just reach that limit. I want to give my children and my family way more than my dad's ever given me, and my dad's given me the world.
So both my parents were never married. They grew up in Sierra Leone, West Africa. They were never married. Both nurses. They had a more of a partnership, more or less like we gotta get our kids out of here. Right. So more or less like they said, all right, we got one kid, we got another kid on the way. We gotta get these motherfuckers out of here. We need a better situation. Got us here in America, and they were never married, but they lived in a household. And even when turmoil and all that was going on, it never mattered. Only thing that mattered was those two kids that you have under you. You know what I mean? More or less, I see my father do some shit. Sorry, Dad. But, you know what I mean? He knows. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, we never had a relationship that was like, hey, he was helping me ride my motherfucking tricycle. Right. Nothing like that, nigga. I'm over here riding my shit. My brother helping me. You know what I mean? Right. And more or less, my brother was my father figure. My father never came in my life till really 16, 17, and I was like, oh, I'm about to go to college. He like, oh, you about to go to college? You know what I mean? But other than that, like...
In college, you going away too.
Yeah, I'm going away.
It's like you about to get around.
Like, my father was the nigga that moved me into my dorm. Right. At Gibbs Hall. You already, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, my father was like, nigga, I ain't never been to Tennessee. I'm like, man, you doing something, you know what I mean? So, more or less, he's like, damn, I have another son that's doing something that's okay. Yeah. My other brother, I mean, hey. Stars the limit, you know what I mean? But he like, I got two of them. And I'm in America that, you know what I mean, I should appreciate something. My mom passed away. And he's like, damn, I might as well make something of myself for these two sons that I have with a wife that's now deceased. You know what I mean? He's a widow.
So to even go off of that, right? Y'all talking about both having like both your parents type shit, having role models and all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I think that shit is like hella important, right? And it helps a lot, right? But the men, like, I think, and this is me, like, almost asking a question, right? The men in your life that have served as being a role model for you, did it not exclude the experiences or the understanding of like the other men, like whether they be like famous men, whether they be like the good guy in the neighborhood, whatever it is that like kind of like also helped you figure out how to be a man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like there's so many aspects of like your best friend's dad that helps you almost like realize like, yeah, he's not my dad, but he's a good man.
So like,
but hold on.
I
So
got you.
and so it's like no, it's like it's a piece of it that's like, yeah, like cool, like my dad wasn't around, but I never felt like I didn't have male role models. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like I always felt like I had examples to observe, and a big part of that's because of my mom telling me to go and figure out what it means to be a man.
Yeah.
Her being very real about the fact that like she can't tell me everything.
Yeah.
She can help me synthesize. I come back home and like I can cry and I can be upset. And I can tell her about the things I'm going through or the things I'm confused about, and her telling me ways to go find male role models.
Yeah.
You know, so whether it's a grandfather, an uncle, or a teacher, a coach.
Yeah.
Like it's so many different layers of manhood that don't have to be your father.
Based on what we all spoke about in terms of our relationships with our fathers, right? How much of a role does, you know, that play in how we all deal with women?
Bomb. One thing I can say personally, with everything that I went through with my father, I saw that commitment was not something that was significant. Something with making sure that you're always there when you need to be there. When you gotta pick your kid up from school, when you gotta make sure he has to go to the doctor, you know what I mean? Be there for the football games, all that. My father was never there for majority of nothing.
Yeah.
So when it came to me even going to college, he was like, wow, I have something that's something. You know what I mean? So he was there after that.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, I see a lot of people that don't even have a significant father at all.
Yeah.
So when you see that, sometimes you look at it as like, damn, you see why they have trust issues, broken promises, the whole nine, and why, you know, they.
You say you have
wild.
that? Do you have that?
I have traits. You know what I mean? Sometimes I have a I don't give a fuck attitude. You know what I mean? Like, I can care less about the situation because at the end of the day, I can wake up and roll over, do the same shit tomorrow and be about my business. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
You feel me? And that's the sad truth.
Yeah, so my perspective on that, I'm saying, like, talking about how it influences. So my mom had me at the age of 20, right? Or 19, actually. And like, I remember my mom dealing with lame ass dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like these dudes that like didn't deserve her. Like in retrospect, I can say they didn't deserve her time. They weren't worthy of even talking to her. You know what I'm saying? But like there was so much stigma around a young black woman at the age of 30 with a kid that we even still see now, right?
Yeah.
For me, I don't even see, like, if I'm with a chick that got a kid, like I don't that's not going against her for me, because I remember what my mom was trying not to be, what she didn't want to like show people, right? When like it took like a couple weeks before I even became a topic of the conversation she had with those men that she would, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Yeah. And it's like my role model, like a better term, is to not make a woman feel like my mom felt when these dudes was just being dickheads. Like they was being dickheads, you know what I'm saying? Like 100% like assholes.
I think you do need two parents.
You don't need two parents.
Right,
But you know why? Like
You need some type of direction.
no, you.
But where you getting that from?
You need honest relationships, right? And the reason I say that is because I will literally say this and like.
Where do you think that starts though? Here's why we all agree, because parents don't. You're not just because you're a parent doesn't mean they birthed you. You need two parents. You need a male.
You do not fucking need two parents. You do not need two parents. I disagree with you 100%, bro.
The man who birthed you doesn't mean he's your parent, bro. He's your donor, bro.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
He made you.
He doesn't need to be replaced. You don't need to fill that gap. That's not a gap.
Did you feel it?
No, I didn't.
You said Uncle Pat, right?
Did I say you need two parents?
You said he filled.
Did I say you need two parents?
Was he something I could look to?
he filled that gap.
He didn't fill the gap, bro.
He didn't fill that gap of you feeling like you
telling
had a
right
father
now,
like everybody else
as a
had.
grown ass man.
Yeah.
That's like. That
Well, I mean,
still
no, the
struggles
truth
with,
is, there's no way
that
you
still
can fill
struggles
that
with the way
gap.
I understand
You know what I mean?
certain
Nice,
relationships I
but
have,
he
bro.
taught you that
He
father.
never filled
feels that
that
Yeah,
gap.
but-
try to have
but-
that
but
emulate.
He didn't
Yeah, like,
feel. He didn't feel it.
with
Bro,
that
look at me.
desire
He did not
that
feel
you're
the gap.
missing.
Yeah.
I feel you.
No one
He
is
was
going to
there.
fill that gap.
Like think about this. Think about like
No one
substitute
is
fucking meat.
fill that gap.
All right,
Yeah.
the Impossible Burger,
Right.
Yeah, it's not. That's not a fucking cheeseburger. It's an Impossible Burger. You know what I'm saying? It's like
What?
it's never filled.
I'm not trying to say too
You're
much.
right.
This
You're
shit
right.
is, it's still weird to this day. I don't
You're
even know like.
Hold on, man.
Like I don't even know. I don't even know what the fuck happened, bro. I don't even know what like. Why these niggas not want to be my dad? You know what I'm saying? Why did my dad not want to be my dad? I don't understand. I don't get it.
Nobody's perfect, bro.
Bro,
Yeah,
it
it has nothing to.
cool,
Nobody's
that-
perfect.
No, that nobody perfect.
You can't
shit.
ask for perfect.
Bro, you cannot blame that on yourself. You can never blame that on yourself.
can't.
Yo, you know how easy that shit is to say when you're fucking dad's. Yo, bro.
It's not
I'm trying to
easy.
tell
It's
you.
how you're gonna
I'm trying to
progress
tell
in
you.
life.
Cool.
It's how you're.
I'm trying to tell you. I understand.
You know what?
Yo, Cam, but you gotta understand, like
I'm done.
what we're saying.
I've been
that
there.
has nothing to do with you.
I have
the fact
never,
that you're not
I've
gonna be in your
not,
life. It
you know
wasn't
what I
because
mean?
you
But
can't.
it's not
That's
your
the point
fault.
that niggas
I'm
is making.
cool. I've accepted that already, but you
Yeah,
niggas aren't
yeah, that's all,
listening.
that's all.
You're not
We are
listening.
listening.
We sat in.
Y'all got so many answers for shit y'all never dealt with.
No, Cam,
We've
listen,
dealt with it.
No, you haven't.
No, listen. No, let me speak.
You can't tell.
You
something
haven't
dealt with
You
it.
haven't
Yeah.
dealt with it.
But Cam,
You haven't had a
haven't
conversation
dealt-
with your mom at the age of fucking 7 about how
haven't
you're.
dealt with it.
Hey, don't charge my dad money. My dad's trying to visit me now, right? My dad wants to see me every couple weeks, and I go see him, and like.
You good, bro. Ain't nobody experienced what you experienced, bro. You right.
And that's a fact.
And that's a fact.
My bad.
And that's a fact. No one experienced what you
Nobody
experienced.
experiences it.
So no one's gonna try to come and say we can feel that.
That's real, bro. That concludes the first episode of Men and Mimosas.
Excuse me. I got.
Mike, you gotta take your
about
mic
to.
off.
I want to, but I don't want to talk to Cam. I don't want to.
We have to take it off.